Hey everyone, it's Lauren, and today we're going to talk about the MCCA. So cooperative associations were a large part of Arthurdale and the community, and one of the most important ones was the MCCA, which stands for the Mountaineer Craftsmen Cooperative Association. Now this association was started in Scott's Run in 1932 with the help of the American Friends Service Committee. Started there, it was carried over into Arthurdale. And this cooperative association made a lot of different products. They made wooden products, bowls, plates, and cups. They also made their own furniture. They had their own forge, which we're going to check out in a little bit, where they made different pewter items. They even had their own craft shop, which is, it was called the craft shop back then, and it's still the craft shop today. It's where Arthurdale Heritage has their craft shop. One of the most famous products that they made here was the God Love chairs. They're named after the designer of the chair, and you'll see them throughout our museum and in our homestead house as well. The MCCA unfortunately disbanded in 1941, but their legacy still remains. Let's go check out the forge and their furniture factory. Oh, I didn't see you there. Welcome to Arthurdale, the Arthurdale Forge. This was built in 1934-1935, and it was a facet of the Mountaineer Craftsmen Cooperative Association that Lauren told you about earlier. In here is what I like to call, this is the forge that built Arthurdale. This is where all the nails like these were made for the homes, all the barn doors, all the horseshoes that were constructed here for plowing fields and things like that were all made here in this shop. This was sort of the baby of Lon Fulmer, who was a trained blacksmith before he came to Arthurdale, and he was actually a homesteader after that. And then Forrest Kress was the other blacksmith. So these two worked in this shop. They also trained other homesteaders, the skills that they had come to Arthurdale with. So everyone had a job to do here, and sometimes this was your job. Lauren also showed you earlier that there were some fine pewter and copper products, and this is one of the sort of negatives. This is the wood attachment that you would stick onto a lathe, and you'd take your pewter, or your copper, your soft metals, and you would sort of mold it around this until you had essentially, you know, this would be a nice little cup. And then here we've got a bowl, so you can kind of see that. Yeah, so this shop was, you know, always hot. Today it's a little chilly, but it was always hot, and always willing to fix tools, you know, help repair a tractor that was broken or anything like that. So next we're going to head to the furniture factory, and Marissa's going to give you a tour of that.
In 1935, the MCCA's furniture factory moved from Morgantown to here in Arthurdale. In this very building, they made those tables, God Love chairs, dressers, anything that they could really use in their own homes, as well as commercially made items to sell in large cities like Boston and New York. Behind me here is the kiln where they dried out all the wood for making these different items. After the MCCA disbanded in 1941, this building changed hands multiple times and became various commercial properties before burning down in the 70s. That concludes our section on the MCCA. Stay tuned for what comes next.